Hey there, this is Wanderlust, and here's the score. Forge 1, Halifax Wanderers 1 at our most hated ground, Tim Hortons Field. Last year I would have had this as the as something right next to it because that's what it was last year, where we didn't pick up a single point from them, and even at our own ground, they treat it like their own training ground. Not today. Today, we got a point against these. We got 2 draws in 2 games in the league, and normally that would sound like a slow start, but against the 2 teams that dominated us last year, Atletico Ottawa and Forge, it's a good start. All right, we were on the attack for quite some time, and eventually, Massimo Ferrin, who's been amazing in front of goal, took a wonderful pass from Andre Rampersad in order to put one in the back of the net and have us leading against Forge at their place, at the most hostile ground to us, for over a half of football. Forge were knocking on the door for the equalizer pretty much from that moment on, and rightly so. They were bound and determined not to be humiliated in their own ground. We defended pretty well, and we kept looking for a second one, although that one didn't come so well. In the end, it took Pacius with some of the best play I've seen from him. Remember that he'll score on anybody he likes. He'll score on nets he's not even shooting at. Him near the end to equalize and to force us to drop 2 points. And this is Forge. We have improved. I honestly think we'll take all 3 from Vancouver next week. If we don't, I'll be very concerned and surprised. This isn't their B. I don't think this is their B team either. It had Schwinier. It had Hojabrapur. It had Metusala and Henry and Rama and Jensen and Poku and Hamilton and Sissoko. And it had, of course, Wubens Pacius as an impact sub. It had Double AJ. If this isn't their A team, then who they brought in must have been wonders. As for our side, well, Jan Fillion had a moment of madness that almost has conceding first, but he was able to recover quickly enough. And the only time he was truly beaten was the aforementioned Wubens Pacius wonder goal. There's so many players who did very well. I had to wrap around for a bit just to get the good performances. And 2 excellent performances in Nimick, a defender who really kept us holding strong, and Farron, who made every attack count. Caligari was in the midfield doing wonders, doing well as usual. Ramps was back to his usual quality self. Frazzo, Fillion, overall was pretty good. Coimbra, Timoteo, we create chances like you wouldn't believe. The better we get at putting them away, the more it's going to count to the point where we can be healthy playoff contenders. Let's see. It's nice to see so many players with good performances. To be honest, we had a couple of guys on booking. This early, I'm not so concerned, but they add up, and after 4 I believe it's after 4 bookings that there's a 1-game suspension. We lucked out with nobody getting injured in a terrible time to have the first game of the Canadian Championship. And if we end up getting someone gone on accumulation or worse, or red, it's going, even if we have squad depth, it's going to be noticed by other teams. The further we can delay that, the better for everybody. The main thing, I really like Patrice Greiser. I mean, he was urging folks on like you wouldn't believe at 1-0. Like he seemed angry that we didn't get a second one despite our best efforts. This is a very active manager who is going to be spurring these on. And he isn't absolutely clearly outbearded or outsmarted or out midfielded by Bobby Smyrniotis and his crew. Last year away from home, they just got one super early and then sat on it. And at home, they just made a fool of us. I don't see the same thing happening home or away this season, unless our squad is depleted for some reason or if multiple players end up not playing well. Also, yeah, Patrice Geiser uses subs intelligently as well. He actually made 4 of them at a good time. Well, Smyrniotis used pretty good subs too. I mean, Wubens Pacius. He was the difference maker for Forge. Anyhow, I'm looking forward to the Vancouver game, and if we can keep up this level of performance, I see great things in the future of the HFX Wanderers this season. Thank you very much. Up those wonderful Blues.